Hi friends, I'm Dr. Amy Shah. I am a double board certified MD and nutrition expert, and I want to welcome you to the Fasting Challenge. I'm here to talk to you about the type of fasting that I love the most. It is called Circadian Fasting. If you want the longer term, it would be called like Circadian Rhythm Time Restricted Eating. In the literature, that's what it's called. Basically, circadian fasting is a term actually that I have created for a type of fasting that makes the most scientific sense for me, especially if you're a busy person and you cannot tolerate or fit in longer fasting in your schedule. Circadian fasting involves fasting just in the hours of evening to morning. So you may not eat 2 to 3 hours before bed, and you may wait an hour after waking to have your first meal. So in summary, it may be between 12 and 16 hours, depending on how early you stop eating. There is so much evidence that circadian rhythms rule our body. The biology of circadian rhythms is just being explored currently. In fact, a 2017 Nobel Prize in Medicine went to Jeffrey Hall and his colleagues because of their discoveries of the way circadian rhythms rule genes in our body. We know that we have a central circadian clock in our suprachiasmatic nucleus that gets input from the external world, say sunlight and blue light in general. That input goes to all of our peripheral clocks. So we have clocks in every one of our cells. So when we get this input from the sun into our brain, the suprachiasmatic nucleus translates this and sends it to the rest of our body, telling us when it's time to wake, when it's time to wind down, when it's time to be sleeping. So that concept shows that there are appropriate times to be doing things. They even find that there's chronobiology to medications, to when you should be eating, to when you should be sleeping. I want to focus on the eating portion because we're talking about circadian fasting. We know through research that having meals late in the evening, especially late into the night, can spike insulin levels. We are less insulin sensitive in the evening time. Even if you do a continuous glucose administration, which they did in a study where they continuously infused glucose in people's veins, they found that over time, as the day went on, especially into the evening hours, about an hour before bed, and especially late into the evening, that blood sugar will rise, even with the exact same amount of glucose that they had earlier in the day. This means the same food eaten at 9 a.m. is going to be processed differently by your body at 9 p.m. This is totally different than what we have heard in mainstream nutritional science and health and wellness. So I think this is a point that we have to understand. Our genes, our pancreas, our intestines, our metabolism is not equipped to be processing food at all hours of the night and evening. One of the things we have found out through research is that insulin, the hormone that the pancreas releases, as you know, and also digestive enzymes that the pancreas releases, get signals from melatonin. Melatonin actually binds to the receptors on the pancreas for melatonin and tells the pancreas to turn things down. So we get less of an insulin release and we get less of a digestive enzyme release. And this is the same as many, many other parts of our body that are responding to circadian rhythm signals. So what that means for you is that calculate about 2 to 3 hours before bed as tolerated and as fits your schedule, and stop eating. All you will want to eat after, say, 7 p.m. for a lot of people is drink water. You can have clear coffee or tea, nothing that's sweet, nothing that's high protein. You can have a slight bit of fat if you need something to hold you over or as a crutch. So ideally, you would do no calories and just water. Second choice would be to do black tea or black coffee, flavored waters. And third choice, if you're really struggling with the fasting piece, is you can have 40 calories of something with fat but low protein, like peanut butter. Surprisingly, a half a tablespoon of peanut butter has very little protein and just about 40 calories. You could do the same thing with a coconut butter or a tiny slice of avocado, because 40 calories is quite a little bit of food. But sometimes that's all you need to get you through the evening and into the next day, and then you can eat basically normally. One bonus I'd like to talk to you about is fasted workouts. Now, fasted workouts can happen the morning after the fast. So say you started your fast at 7 p.m., maybe at 7 a.m. you go for a workout for an hour, hour and a half, and then you don't eat until 9 or 9:30. And so you'll have a nice long 14 and a half hour fast, and right before you break your fast, you had a fasted workout. A fasted workout will help accelerate your chances of getting into the magic fasting zone, which you may have heard of, called autophagy. Autophagy is the deep cleaning, anti-aging process in your cells that are always going on, but gets turned up when we sense that there is no food. So when you fasted all night and then you push your body in a workout, the chances of your body needing to make a switch from using glucose for fuel to using fat for fuel is very high. And we think that that switch also turns on autophagy. So the metabolic switch going from using glucose to using fats may have already happened, or it may happen while you're doing your fasted workout. And then that is what really ramps up autophagy. And I'm telling you, autophagy, I know you've heard of it before if you're listening to this challenge, but it's something that you want to try out for yourselves. There's so many benefits. Unfortunately, in current times, we don't have an autophagy meter or a way to check if you're in autophagy. We have all these guesstimates of when it happens, when it ramps up. We think it happens between the 16, 24-hour point, but it can go faster. It can happen faster if you do a fasted workout. And it can happen faster if you have a low intake of sugar in general, because your sugar reserves will be used up faster. So you can get into autophagy much sooner if you're someone who eats low sugar in general and then you fast. So I hope you found this helpful. My name is Dr. Amy Shah. I'm over at Fasting MD on Instagram, at Amy Shah MD on Twitter and Facebook. I have a new book coming out called I'm So Effing Tired. This is available on Amazon. I have a new monthly program that you can find on my website, amymdwellness.com. I have consults, I have products. I would love to see you over on social media or send me a message after you watch this. And thank you so much for joining me.